As Jack is getting that all set. Hi, everybody. My name is Assad Butt. I am the director of the Metro Region Innovation Hub here in Portland, Oregon. We are a state-funded agency that basically are organization that connects entrepreneurs with the regional resources to help them overcome obstacles that are in their way. We do that mostly through what we call navigation sessions, where we connect with entrepreneurs one-on-one, and then we find out what you're doing and then make introductions to regional resources, other organizations or people in town that can help you get unstuck. We also do events. We have actually a Build with AI event coming up next week that has like a bajillion people signed up, and we're actually doing a startup cafe on Friday the 5th, all about accelerator programs, not just ours, but other ones. And yeah, part of what we're doing now is this accelerator program underneath the Metro Region Innovation Hub umbrella. And excited to share with you all what we're working on. Jack is going to be leading the effort and also leading this presentation. And I will be trying to answer questions in the chat. Just kind of some rules of the road. If you could stay on mute, that would be great. Towards the end, Jack will probably go through this for about 15 or 20 minutes, and then we can, if you have questions, you can come off of mute and ask them. But in the meantime, feel free to put your questions into chat, and either I will type respond or we will answer them live. And with that, I will pass that over to Jack to begin the conversation.
Awesome. Thanks, Assad.
Yeah.
Excited to see everyone here. It's awesome that the feedback and the activity that's been coming in so far is really exciting. I love seeing all the different things that everyone is working on and the business that you have as well as ones that you're looking to launch. So it's really exciting, and I'm excited to share more details on this and hopefully answer questions along the way. So feel free to, like Assad said, add your things to the chat and if you have questions along the way, he'll flag me. I'm probably not looking at the the chat all the time. But if you have questions, feel free to ask. And I'm just going to go through the program at a high level. And most of you guys, looks like most of you guys I've actually talked to before as well. So, which is great. So thanks for joining. Um, so I'll just dive right into it, right? If my screen will work, there we go. Just to reiterate kind of the mission we have here with this program is, it's a 15-week program, and, we want to focus on, you know, AI first, right? AI first founders, right? And AI first to me is not necessarily that your business is all AI, is all tech from that perspective, but it's how you're using AI in this world, right? And how you're using it within your platform to solve problems, get solutions, whether it be for how you operate or the solutions that you're bringing out. And AI is going to be a part of what we do and everything we do. Our mission here is, get this program out with to accelerate all these early stage startups, right? And we want to provide hands-on mentorship, community, and really a statewide support group that from all the universities, organizations, Southwest Washington and Oregon here. Um,
Jack, should we
so
should we talk about your background and my background?
Oh, yes. Sorry. We talked about that last time. Yeah. So those of you who don't know, my background is I have been a long-time entrepreneur, had a couple exits, I have raised money, have bootstrapped. But in the last a couple years, I really focus on working with mentors and helping them achieve a level of success that some may not have thought even possible, right? In the last 4 months, I've actually now helped launch 6 companies with founders. And so it's really exciting to see when people come looking for money or looking for how to get started. Even some of the boot camps. I had a conversation yesterday with one of the members there, or one of the candidates there, and he went to the boot camp. It's the only event he's ever been to, and he's now spent the last 4 weeks developing a platform using AI, and it's incredible. Like he's like, I never thought I could be able to do this. So, if I can inject this into what we have here with the accelerator, that's what I'm excited to do. So my work is really focusing on founders, and now with this overview from the state of Oregon and Southwest Washington here from support organizations, I'm excited to take this and try to get even as many more as possible we can get launched. So
Yeah, and I'll just share my background. I have been working in the startup world for about 15 years, if not longer, depending on how you define startups. I've been running accelerator programs in education and in pet care for pretty much that entire time. And I've done a bunch of different types of accelerator programs, most of them involving funding, but some of them also free to participate programs. So that's kind of my background is really helping founders go from 0 to 1 or from 1 to 2 and across multiple different sectors and whatnot. And yeah, and we're excited. And so Jack is running the program, and the hub is kind of managing, making sure that the trains are on time and all that kind of stuff. And so I'm here to support Jack in making sure that this is the best thing that Oregon has ever seen in the startup world.
yeah, absolutely. So yeah, great partnership, and we're on our way to kind of making this something that can scale with in the region and have an impact here locally. Um, so why Oregon? Why now? Yes, I've had comments that the map is not accurate, and I know that AI does it's not always accurate, right? But Oregon is and Southwest Washington. I want to include them as well. That's where I live. Is uniquely positioned to kind of lead this AI innovation with a focus on academic startups and a corporate system ecosystem here. From all the universities, the hubs, the state. I think there's a lot of support and need to help boost this what we have here. So the partner ecosystem, as I mentioned, I should put logos on this. But Metro Region Innovation Hub, you have Portland State, OEN, Tau, TI, Oregon, OSU, OHSU, Google. I mean, Google's kind of leading this first charge here with the funding as well as the sponsorship of this program. So, but we're going to be growing this ecosystem even more to just have support of everyone here so that we can have a bigger impact on the state. So the purpose of this program, right, is to, help you validate any assumptions that you may have. Build the traction with your customers. Strengthen your go-to-market strategy, right, and become investor ready. And I say investor ready, in my philosophy at least is investor ready doesn't mean you need investment. Investor ready just means you've got everything locked down. You know where you need to go and how you can scale. And if the right investor comes along that can help you scale and achieve what you need to achieve, that's fantastic. But I bootstrapped my second business, right, with $5,000 and sold for $30 million, right? And so, that from that, it's much more rewarding than raising 26 million and selling it for 100, right? It's actually not the same at all when you raise that early. So, for me, it's really about validating, building a strong foundation, building leverage for yourself as part of this program. Because just because you're investable doesn't mean you need to take on the investment. But if you are going to take on investment, make sure you have the leverage so that you're not, giving away your company, right? And that process. So the timeline, application started, gosh, has it been a week or 2 weeks? I guess a week, right? 2 weeks, roughly so. And we'll have decisions by January 15th. If you haven't applied yet, put your application in. It's not very overwhelming at all, hopefully. But get your applications in. The applications will close on the December 15th. And during this time frame, we'll be reviewing the applications, evaluating it based on the way that we approach the companies we want to, we have the most opportunity to be successful here, but also have an impact on the state of Oregon and the solutions that you're bringing forward. So once we'll make all those decisions by January 15th, and we'll send out letters before then or notifications before then. But part of this applications, we'll get your application in, review it, and then we'll narrow it down and do pitches with everyone that has made it past that round, and you have an opportunity to pitch for 5 minutes and then 10 minutes Q&A with our committee, our team, the folks that are going to be evaluating, and then we'll make our final decision for the 20 cohorts by January 15th. The program will kick off in February, and it'll be about 15 weeks with 4 blocks of being in person here that are required, but we'll also have the space here. You can actually be working from here if you need to and need a space to work and just get involved in some of the activities and your cohorts and the community that's here. to help support your efforts. The program is will be 2 weeks. The first 2 weeks will be in February. We'll have a week in March, week in April, and then 2 weeks to close it out with some of the events that will lead to Demo Day, Innovation Showcase, and so on and so forth. The in person here, we'll be focusing, when you, for the first week here, we'll be focused on, sorry, my screen just got covered up. So I was like, what am I looking at? Uh, the in person for the first week, we'll be focused on getting things kicked off. We'll focus on team building, do mentor speed dating. We got a great amount of mentors that have reached out and said, I want to help. I want to share my expertise and I want to, connect with founders and match up with founders. So we'll have mentor speed dating and connect you with mentors that can help wherever you are in your process and whatever gaps you have in your execution that can help guide you through the way, right? And those mentors will have, I will be one of those mentors that for every cohort and have weekly 1 hour meetings at least there from that standpoint. But you'll also be paired with at least three that can schedule and work with you through that process from everything from technical to market validation to just running a business, legal, all that fun stuff. So, okay, come on. Next, there we go. In-person block number 2 will be 1 week in March, and we'll start diving into more technical deep dives, understanding more of what you're building, how you're applying it, how you're using it, kind of this mid-program sprint to be able to say, okay, what can we do in this next week? And then you have, the next 3 weeks after that to kind of execute and figure how you can get to where you need to get to. We'll dive into some of the things such as customer discovery, right? Well, you have you fine-tuned that the customer base? Have you identified the wedge? Have you identified the product market fit? And really get to a point where you are focused on a certain vertical, a certain target, and executing as best as possible in that market to achieve the success that you want to achieve. In April, we'll then dive more into that go-to-market strategy, or we'll be focusing on getting pilots for your some of the things that you're working on and seeing if we can get some partnerships built in there as well, and then start working on your investor prep. So again, depending on where you are and progress that you're making, some of these things will have a focused theme, but we'll be trying to work with you on where you're at as well. I think during these weeks we'll have curriculums and people here that will have workshops and sessions that will really focus on these 3 areas, but not limited to these 3 areas. Just this is what we'll focus on for the the third block of weeks here. So. And then the final 2 weeks here will be in May, and that will lead to just getting your pitch refined, right? Setting up investor meetings, and then getting to graduation, right? Where you'll be able to showcase what you're doing at some of the events that we have set up here. You'll be able to pitch your company with precision and confidence. And what I love to tell a lot of founders is pitch like you don't need them, right? Because just that's how great of where you are, right? And I think that's the opportunity here. And the ones that will like, I want a piece of this. I want a part of this, right? That'll be the fun part where you can develop that type of confidence and strengthen the foundation that you have for your startup and in your business. So, and with all that, we'll have grant prizes. I think I talked about that a little bit later, but we'll have small grant prizes available for the winners. But I'm hoping to be able to expand that with even more sponsors and to increase that pool, but also the
Which will,
relationships. Yeah, go
oh,
ahead.
sorry. Oh, which will be equity free.
Yeah,
So yeah.
equity free. Yes. So weekly structures, the expectation here is you'll spend about 10, 15 weeks, or 10, 15 weeks, 20 to 15 hours a week minimum on working on this, right? On your own, during your time here as well, at least. And you'll have one-on-one meetings with me. You'll have meetings with your mentors. You'll be attending some of these workshops. We'll have founder circles, milestones and deliverables. We'll hold you accountable too on some of these things that you'll set up for yourself as we work through this program. And I look at 10 to 15, but again, every founder, some of you may have jobs on the side. Some of you may have other things that you need to do. And so we'll kind of figure out what that looks like and how to maximize the time that you are here during the week. And if you're here physically in the office space working, I think that'd be fantastic. But if you have other things going on, we'll try to figure out, when you'll need to be here on a regular basis, just to have visibility and be involved in the in-week sessions and whatnot. So.
Yeah, Jack, I just want to chime in for everybody. Like, this is our first time doing this, and obviously, like, AI is the new wild, wild west, and our expectation is that we're going to get, probably over 100, if not a couple hundred, applications, and we'll probably get a wide range of people from the idea to further along stage. Our goal is to find, a wide diversity of startups, but the more serious that entrepreneurs are about their product and their business, then the better their chances of getting in. And that's not to say that like we've been getting some questions about like whether uh, people who have other jobs should can apply and all that kind of stuff. Like there's no like hard and fast rule, but certainly like during the in-person weeks, we want people to be here and spend as much time on their business as possible. And for me, when I've run accelerator programs, like those that are focused on their business 100% of the time are the ones that get the most out of these type of programs. And so the real question would for us, and when we talk to the entrepreneur, would be like, if you are serious about this business and but you can't come into the program because you have another job or for whatever reason, perhaps it's better to wait until the next time we run a program where the company would be further along and you are more poised to make a difference. And then one other thing I just want to add, Jack, is that we are, this is a economic development play for the state of Oregon and Southwest Washington. So our goal is to try to find the best companies that can have lasting impact in the state, whether that's job creation or with exits and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, thanks for that, Assad. Um, so the mentorship model that we're approaching here will be one with me, and I'll be able to assist you. I have a unique ability to find gaps in some of the things that you're working on and help you identify those gaps. But also, I'm a builder as well. So I build, like I said, I built 6 apps for 6 companies in the past 4 months, which is pretty crazy. But I do that because there is an ability to leverage AI in a way that can get you quickly to the next phase, right? A lot of founders, I think, find a lot of challenges in ideating, trying to create the perfect plan or trying to create the perfect solution at the end, and you get stuck in this loop of okay, it's not perfect yet. It needs to be right, and we need to add this, need to add that. And for me, I'm like, let's just get started, right? Let's start building. Let's get that first step and iterate and find out where the holes in the bucket are, right? And continue to iterate so that in a certain time frame you can get to a product or business that can really allow you to grow with, right? Have a product market fit, build the foundation, and start executing on the business. So, but outside of me, we'll have 3 mentors that you'll be matched with, some speed dating opportunities, and some fun activities that will connect you with the mentors. I've also built up a back end that will identify potential mentors that you can also reach out to and connect with as part of this program as well. And then, some of the resources with the area Metro Region Innovation Hub, as well as some of these other organizations. Some of those connections will naturally come a part of some of the people that are involved in this process. Um, so that's kind of the mentorship model that I'm creating now. And again, this may evolve. This is our first pilot of this program, and your feedback will be greatly appreciated even as we go through this program. So benefits for founders, for yourself, right? Mentorship is one, the cohort community. Obviously, having this community, leveraging off, things that we learn from each other. Myself, plenty of battle wounds and scars on me, and I'm sure a lot of you do as well. But sharing that is something that I think is very valuable in how you become a stronger person, how you build a stronger foundation for your business, and be able to test theories and things that questions that you may have in your head that suddenly get answered because someone else has been through that, gone through that, and or just have that support group around you, right? And then partners and perks and tools and credits. We're working on building up the tools and certain credits for certain programs, as well as some startup partnerships that can provide tools that can help you accelerate what you're doing as well. We'll have obviously the grant equity free grant prizes that was mentioned earlier as well, and hoping we can grow that as well to even increase that award to the different founders. We'll have space here at the PSU co-working space, right, where the Metro Hub is. We have a couple offices or classrooms, as well as my office here and in front of where I'm at right now. And you'll be able to just work from here, right? You can use these facilities, be able to connect with others. We have a what do you call that? A phone room, to a phone booth, right? You can make calls in there, have meetings in there if you need to. But the more that you're here, the more you engage you'll be, and the more if you have a question or you have something that comes up, you need to ideate. I got whiteboards and stuff. We can do it in person. It's always kind of fun too. So
Wait, real life whiteboards, Jack? Not AI versions of whiteboards?
we got that too. I mean, there are plenty of those, and but sometimes you just take that pen out, give it a good sniff, and then you're good. Oh, no, sorry, I didn't mean to say that, but you start working on getting those solutions. So, but we'll have workshops here. The events happening all the time for the Metro Hub, and so once you're here, you can join those sessions as well, and just get involved in the community and be visible. It's a big part of this. So. Thought I fixed the screen. So sorry if you can't read all this stuff, but like I mentioned before, 50,000 right now it is penciled in for a grant equity free grant prizes for at least three of the top. We're looking at possibly looking at 25, 15, 10. I think it is kind of the breakdown. But we're looking to also increase that prize pool by another 150, maybe 200K, and then distribute that, either higher grant prizes or more amongst the different cohorts as well. So traditional accelerators, you come in accelerator, they're gonna like YC or whatnot, you're gonna get some funding to get started. This is more an incubator into accelerator process, but as we continue to grow this, my hope is we'll be able to have more funding available to support the founders and the things that you're working on. But to also be qualified, like was mentioned earlier, we really encourage a 90% attendance requirement on at least the in-person weeks and then the sessions that we have set up for you. Some of them will be in the evening, some will be during the day, and so we'll try to work around that schedule and be flexible with that as well. So.
Yeah, and I should note that I, all Portland State University is our fiscal sponsor, and so we just the equity free grants would be distributed through them, and so it would have to make sure that it meets like the the legal obligations of whatever entity that you are receiving the funds meet the requirements. And I would say the vast majority of companies that are registered in the United States meet that. And then if you are outside of the country and coming here, I think that's something that we haven't fully investigated, Jack. We need to start asking some questions about that. You might be required to form a local entity to receive those equity-free grants if you are selected as one of the winners or whatnot.
Yeah, I mean, just another engine you got to add to the plane that you're building as you're flying it, right? So we'll figure these things out as but yeah, no, I think there's I move quickly. If we've spun this up pretty quickly. It's been in the works, but I am flying this plane as we're attaching the cabin and everything else, the wings, whatever it is. So, so we appreciate your patience and some of the things that we have going on here. But that's the beautiful part about AI is how quickly we can do some of these things with the knowledge we have and the human ability to take that knowledge and then turn it into solutions. Um, so kind of the selection criteria, just to give you an idea of, as you're positioning yourself in your application, we do want to focus on, 30% of the focus will be, who is your team? Is it just you? Do you have a co-founder or, we encourage though, for you and your co-founder to both be here, or co-founders. And 30% will be focused on, do you have the right people to execute on this? Obviously, that's where it starts first. Who is it? What's your expertise? What is your passion? What is your problem you're solving? Are you engaged in this? So, demonstrate that. It'll be a big part of this selection criteria. And then product market fit, right? Is the solution you're bringing, have you identified a product market fit or potential product market fit? And, if you are close or if you aren't quite there yet, that'll be part of the selection criteria. I would say, if you have either that set or an idea of where that's going to be, that will help at least making sure that we can get that wedge for you as well. And then AI edge, right? The competitive advantages or how you are using AI in your solution, both physical robotics or SaaS technologies or workflows and processes or data intelligence and or building data sets and training materials or training modules or builder tools, right? These are all different types of AI applications, agents or knowledge or communities or whatever that is. What is your edge there with AI? Because this is an AI accelerator, so we want to make sure that there is a AI. And I say that it's interesting because it's like the old days of saying you got to have a website, and it's like the most innovative thing to have a website so people can discover you. Well, at this point, you're going to need AI somehow integrated into what you're doing if you haven't already. So let's get there and create that edge. And then, what kind of traction do you have, right? Are you in idea stage or versus, you're generating revenue? So we'll evaluate that as part of the process. Doesn't mean you have to, but it will make it better and easier if you have some traction, to allow you to bubble up into this selection criteria. Again, we want to graduate the best companies that can have the most success. But then, aside from that, I still feel like these other applications that come in will have other resources we'll direct you to as well. Metro Hub is a great place to help that with that navigation, but also resources and or you could be matched with a mentor network that can then build help you build that traction as well. But then organ alignment, like Assad said, there's a focus here that we're bringing this collectively with the Oregon and Southwest Washington. I never want to leave out Southwest Washington, but the alignment here of that to have impact here, both from the economic side as well as people side and the solution oriented kind of approach of Oregon uh, and AI and technology and innovation that we're trying to bring up and bubble up to the surface. So. So though you could have gone through the application process, this is pretty straightforward. You have an application right online there. It's not overwhelming, I don't think. Feel free to give me feedback if you think it is. I've added some AI tools in there for you to just make it a little bit easier for you if you need it. And then we'll go through a rolling review process here, set up interviews, and then, like I said, get to the decision by January 15th. So, the process is going to be pretty straightforward. I have also built some backend tools that will help in the evaluation process as well. So, some of these things will help guide the committee and those who are involved in the evaluation to better understand what it is that you're building. So the more information you can provide, the better in order to get this, through the process of selection. So. And so we'll get to again, eventually get to that demo day, right? And then there's a couple events happening with the Oregon AI show or Oregon was it Oregon Innovation Showcase and PDX Startup Week and some of these really cool events that we're working on to get you in front of investors, get you in front of the people, get you in front of potential partners, right? All of these is to create that visibility, but we need to get you to a point where you're ready to just come out with confidence and you know, say, look what I've got, guys, and I'm going to execute those flawlessly and with the passion and vision and mission that will help Oregon. You know, whether it be this is where you'll have your exit, this is where you'll build a base, but you're going to be a global solution for you know the world. Like we'll get you ready, right? And that's the goal is by the time that you're finished with this program, again, you're investor ready. You know are ready to pitch investors and partners. You know, get your pitches all lined up and have a roadmap for where you're going to go and how you're going to get there. So. So with that, I'll kind of jump into kind of the questions, facts. A lot of facts are on their website, but I'm sure some of you have questions along the way here as well. You know, these are some of the common questions that we already get asked right now. Do I need a technical co-founder? No, not necessarily. Having another person though would be fantastic, just kind of to allow you to leverage that. You know, the back and forth between you know founders as opposed to by yourself, but you know, a technical co-founder is not necessarily required. You may have expertise in a certain vertical and you may be dabbling into some AI stuff. And that's where we hope to bridge some of those gaps, either with mentorship, through partners, through finding another co-founder potentially along the way right here. And so it's not, you don't have to be fully technical. You know, I've, some of the founders I work with right now, had almost no technical experience. And they are now AI technical, and I say that like you know because they've figured out how to leverage AI to accommodate for the technical gaps that they have. But at the same time, you know they now have a solution and can bring in technical resources that can really take it further than they have and they can. So. Solo founders can apply, right? Again, like I said, encouraged to you know work on getting another person involved with you because you know founders can be it's a lonely job. I mean, if you're being a founder can be very lonely, right? And so community is one thing. Having someone else to bounce ideas off of, to you know even get into little battles at time because I love having these moments of you know being able to battle things out because it creates you know better refinements of things and it's healthy if you can have the right founder working with you on these things but you know if you're not there yet hopefully we can you know get that you know co-founder or someone who can help you along that way as well and then is travel required again we want for those blocks of sessions to for you to be here at least for those sessions and you know if you can be here that's you know will be prioritized over those who can't so keep that in mind and do we take equity? No. You know, our goal here is not to take equity from your business, as you've heard from me before. I preach, you know, bootstrap as far as you can and own as much as you can of your own company, right? And take on that capital when it's the right time, when you created leverage, when you have the ability to, you know, use that capital wisely with traction numbers and scalability. So,
But if
yeah.
you want to give us equity, you're welcome to. I mean, we're not gonna we're not gonna say no.
I mean, yeah, I mean, you
No,
know,
no.
I don't want to, you know, say that you know, all the businesses I work for, I take no equity. Some have just been gracious and say, you know, you just take something, take this, right? And so, you know, I'm not, we won't reject it, right? And, you know, but I think at the end of the day, our focus is not on taking equity. The focus is on helping you grow and scale, and you know, if you get to a certain point and uh, one of the things I didn't talk about, or I don't remember if I have a slide on it, maybe not. But my focus here and my passion is in creating this flywheel of successful entrepreneurs, right? I've been through the process. I've been through these battle wounds, and throughout my process in my career, I've had mentors along the way. I've had people who have shared, you know, their experience and helped me get through certain times that were very challenging, very difficult. And I'm blessed to be where I am today because of that experience and the success I've had even early on, or you know the gaps in between, and then the success that I'm at right now is to create even more successful entrepreneurs like yourself who can then create that flywheel of turning that into your passion of helping the future founders before AI starts taking over and eliminating all of us anyway. So, but yeah, that flywheel is very important, and I hope that we'll create even more passionate founders that can go out and be mentors and help other founders along the way as well. So. And then we talked about the commitment already, just those blocks of weeks, as well as being here, being visible, being a part of the program, gaining as much as you can from the program with the cohorts and the community and the people that we have here. So, and with that, I'll kind of let Assad kind of jump in. If you have questions, put them in the chat. I'm sure Assad has some questions now, and or ask me anything that you want to, ask, and I'll do my best to answer them.
One thing that I'll just quickly share because questions have come up is what stage and a sector and all that kind of stuff is like, for us this because this is the first time that we're doing this because AI is obviously emerging. um we'll see. Our goal is to get as advanced the companies as possible, but we recognize that because we aren't giving funding up front, that likely we'll be trending with applications that are more in the idea prototype, like early stage of their development. And then I think one thing that Jack and I were having this conversation about recently is we are seeing a lot of people at just the idea stage that haven't built anything and that have applied. And I think for me, without having looked at any of their applications in depth, but if an entrepreneur were to come to me right now and say, I just have this idea, should I apply? I would say certainly apply, but my number one question will be like, because of all the AI tools out there, because of the build events that we're hosting, other people are hosting, how come you haven't built that prototype yet? At least having a prototype seems to me in this day and age to be the minimum that would be required. That said, my guess is that we are going to accept, and this is just based on how I've run accelerator programs in the past, that we'll probably accept, 75% of the companies are going to be companies that are in market with val with either market validation or market traction of some sort. And then 25% would be a little bit earlier than that. Maybe they've built the prototypes and they're still kind of like, testing it out, but they've really they're ready to go. Or maybe done some pilots and stuff like that. But so much of it will depend on the type of companies that we will attract during this application process. Yeah. So, and then I think the second thing I want to say is I know Jack has talked a lot about this, but like for us, we are trying to build like a cohort type experience, and we are trying to. There is so much that happens when people are in the same room and ideating with each other. A win for me would be if two or three of the companies like decided they wanted to merge together and like go off and build something even bigger, right? That would be great, and not something that we're planning for. But I think that for us, we want to make sure there is so much of that learning that happens between entrepreneurs themselves, and you'll move, so much faster. Like I think if you are, like I said before, haven't you have a full-time job or are outside of the state and you can't come during those in-week sessions, or even if you can't participate fully outside of those in-person weeks, I think really think hard about trying to find a co-founder or having someone else on your team really lead that effort and being that participant. But we are already getting so much interest from mentors and sponsors and so many people like there could be just one person on your team that is meeting with, 20 different people a week, based on the interest that we're getting, which then leaves, no time to do, anything else. So I really do think that if you want to get the most out of this program, by the time you start, you should have at least one other co-founder, and maybe even another team member that can help uh, take the load off.
Yeah, no, I think those are great points to make, and I've talked to some of you guys. Some of you have reached out and booked a meeting on my meeting link, and some of you just have ideas, right? And so we'll weigh all that. And there are I know of a couple that have I've seen through the applications that's a really necessary needed solution, right? And some people have been very innovative in kind of the solution that they want to bring to market. They've thought through it a lot, but they haven't taken that first step. And so, if we can help, even from now until then, get you ready, that's always an opportunity. But in this day and age, again, I feel like every 3 months, it's been 10 years in AI. It's just the way that things have moved so fast. I mean, just this past week, Gemini 3 and Opus 4.5 and Grok 4.1 and all these things that just blown out. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like multi-layer type of solutions now that I was, hoping that one day we'll get there. And then amazingly, it's already here. So it's moving fast. And so if you haven't already, like, I'm happy to share more. By the time we actually get started, I'm sure if the space will change even more dramatically with what's available. So, but the solution is what I'm looking at, right? What are you solving for, and how are you doing that? And if you're able to have a strong passion and foundation of what you're actually trying to solve, it doesn't matter who's going to do what out there. It's about capturing that market and building that loyalty and providing that solution because there will be competitors, right? And the moat of the past was, hey, I got to build IP and protection, and because of this is going to be so innovative. But the reality in this world today is, as innovative as you think you are right now, someone will be more innovative. So capture the market, right? Get your customers, get built loyalty, and then begin to expand and grow what you can do. By adding those features down the road, by extending your platform or your solution with newer technology to come, but you have this customer base that you're solving real problems for, that they can look at you and say, these guys keep evolving and keep growing. But if you fail to take your thoughts and ideas into the market, or you take too long getting there, you're going to be someone else will. And that's the reality of it. Someone else will. And so, it's not the IP necessarily more. It's what's the solution and who you're solving for. What's your wedge, right? Don't boil the ocean. Find that small wedge that you say, I'm going to solve for this specific industry, for this specific people. And there's a lot of those out there. And that market is still very, very big. And, eventually, as you lock down this, you'll be able to expand and add more offerings and serve the customer base that you have, the clients and the people that you're solving these problems for. So,
Um, Brett just asked what level of detail goes into the application in certain NDA. There's no NDA, and then the level of detail is, well, I'm not sure how to answer that. I think there's probably about 15 questions that just go through your business plan, your business model, and why the team, why you type of thing. Yeah, I think that in general, when I've run accelerator programs, I haven't we haven't signed NDAs, and we kind of go with this kind of motto amongst the cohort that like anything that's shared between people in the room is should be held confidential. And so if that's not something that if you need something more strict when it comes to NDAs and stuff like that, then probably this program isn't right for you, but still worth tossing in an application, and we can cross that bridge when we come to it. Jack, do you have anything?
and yeah, I'll say, I think, again, like NDAs is a very interesting, question because there are certain things that truly, it's proprietary. Like, make sure you have that NDA in those instances where you're talking with people who, could potentially take that idea or and enforcing NDAs is another whole nother topic. Maybe, get on another call and talk about that. But for me, what I look at is what are you solving, right? Who you're solving it for, how are you solving it, and you can get that through without getting into the nuts and bolts of everything that's behind the scenes, right? And so if you can demonstrate that and show that passion, and you have a solution, and you have that underlying technology. I don't need the details of that. And like I said, you want to get uh, what do you call that? IP protection and or provisional patent application in. If you have all those things, great, right? And I encourage you to, right? Because you have something to protect what you're actually building now. But the reality, like I said before, is start building, capture the market, get traction because AI will figure out, or someone else will figure out how to use AI to do the exact same thing, and they'll do it. If you haven't already out there with an edge, they will do that, and then you're going to play a lot of catch up. So
One other thing, and I apologize, Jack, you might have said this, but because I was like looking at all the questions and answering, so I was kind of listening and then tried to focus. My ADD medication didn't kick in officially, but again, this is our first time, and when I've run programs in the past, typically how I approach it, and this is what I've encouraged Jack to be thinking about is that we are really flexible when it comes to delivering the program and the value to the entrepreneurs. And so if we find after the first, whatever, a couple weeks or month or whatever, that like the cadence of meetings and the topics of classes or whatever isn't working, then we can adjust as needed. That is our commitment to making sure that this program is in service of you, that you're not wasting a lot of time sitting in sessions that aren't relevant to you or to your company, and that you are, moving the company forward. And so much of it really depends on the stage of company that we that come in, that the type of entrepreneur, if it's a first-time founder or someone that has some experience in the startup world. Um, all that is going to shape, how we develop the program, and we're coming into it with a thesis, but again, that's going to change depending as we kind of go down this path of reviewing all the applications and whatnot. But yeah, I think for us, the one thing that might not have has been said. That like we will be solving for people that we want to work with and have fun with. Like I think I've said this in the past for accelerator programs that I've run. We have rejected people that had a promising idea or a promising company because they were going to be too difficult to work with, and especially with like the Portland and the Oregon ethos of like, I think we just want to be around other people that want to lean in and solve cool problems and build a community. And then also, Jack and I are thinking about this for the long term. What can we do after the program in the next, 2, 3 years to help the founders that come through this program. And I should note that this is part of a larger initiative as well. There's a steering committee that's thinking about AI at a higher level that includes more of an investment program, later down the line for startups. We are thinking about doing something like this or the bigger program across the state and doing it sector specific. And so, our goal is to find, 20 amazing founders and 20 amazing startups that are going to be real game changers, so that we can really showcase to the world, Oregon, Southwest Washington, is where you want to go if you want to build an AI startup.
yeah, and I'll add to that. Just you know, being I've grown up here in Oregon and Washington as well. I mean, like I said, I live in Vancouver now, but growing up here, it's different. My company was acquired in Silicon Valley, right? And I went down there and worked down there, and it was fantastic. Very fortunate to have an acquisition as CEO for that company that really did things the right way. And but what I found is we have a different kind of mentality here that I think can be good and bad, and it's about leveraging those the uniqueness of what we are and what we have here and how we have an impact and the craftsmanship, the creator and the makers that we have here. we focus on impact a lot more than just being a unicorn and making billions of dollars. I hope, one day most of you can get there, right? All of you can get there, right? But the reality is if you do the right things, solve the right problems, and do it in the right way, that success is more valuable to me than anything else, right? And if you can do that in a way that can have an impact here locally, that can grow this. I mean, I was talking to AJ Green over the AI Collective the other day, and he had this graph up and showing, how many unicorns have come out of Seattle, Portland, and the Bay Area. And Bay Area is like 43 unicorns or 125 unicorns, something. Seattle's had 43 unicorns, and Portland has had zero. Right. Think about that. Zero. Um, uh, and uh, and so it's interesting because we've had a lot of successful companies. Most of those companies have also left, right? And it's kind of it sucks, right? But I think when you build it right with the foundation of the impact and the solution and just the mentality we have here, then we can be unique, different from the way Silicon Valley approaches, different from the way Seattle approaches it, right? We can have our unique stamp of Oregon, the Pacific Northwest here that is really focused on solutions that have impact and not about being the next billion-dollar, winner, right? And the interesting part is I've seen companies who have that focus on the impact side first and become billion-dollar companies. And so that's if you do things the right way, I think that's my main focus of what I hope to achieve here too. So
People have any questions that I didn't answer on the in the chat? You're welcome to come off mute or ask any other question that you might have or clarifying question. I will say that for those of you that are in the Portland metro area and are looking for support with your startup, you can get a free navigation session with one of the staff on my team. I'll put it in the chat window right now, and you could schedule a session with them, and um, they will help you all. And then
yeah,
we are doing there's an AI build event that we're doing on Wednesday afternoon that has, yeah, like I mentioned, a bunch of people signed up. You're welcome to join that if you're interested. And then on December 5th, we have our uh, general accelerator conversation with a bunch of people that run accelerator programs in the Portland area coming to talk about why you should go into an incubator and accelerator program. And you can find those all on our website. And I'll put that in the chat as well.
yeah. And it looks like Tim had a question
Oh,
around
sorry.
state and local government lobby programs, incentives, grants, and promotions. And Sal can probably answer this better than I can, but this is with the support of the state of Oregon. We have organizations. The mayor, the governor, and all of those are going to get involved and kind of see how we develop this program for impact, and that should open the doors for some of these grants and opportunities. SBDC, I've talked to a couple of these other folks who want to support, but with the just the pure number of founders and entrepreneurs and the resources available to go through these startups is challenging for even the state and local governments. So if we can be a catalyst for that, I think that will give you the great exposure and opportunity to kind of check the list, check the check boxes of the items that they would be looking for, and if you can achieve that, then I think that would make it just easier for everyone involved to provide that support.
Yeah. We are, active, not lobbying is probably the not us the stronger right word, but we are actively just trying to make sure that the elected officials know what we're doing and can come and learn about AI and not be scared of it and all that kind of stuff. So if any of you have connections with elected leaders or other people that you think that we should be talking to, yeah, let us know. And that includes I know Dave is on the call, Southwest Washington as well.
He
There's a
dropped.
oh,
He,
okay.
he's
Okay.
gone. Yeah, so we don't have to talk
Uh,
about stuff with
yeah,
Washington anymore. No, I'm kidding.
Dave Barkos, for those that you aren't aware, was on the call and he does a lot of startup stuff in Southwest Washington, which obviously is hugely important to this metro area, but where we are in Portland. So yeah,
Yeah. And you know, I will say thank you all for really having interest in this as well. I see a lot of comments of thanks for this, and you know, this is I think just a natural progression of where we are and the things that we can do. And in my personally in my life, right? Pivoting to what I'm doing now is really with AI specifically is what I've been doing most of my career, and so I think there's an opportunity here to really leverage AI and the community and the cohorts and the organizations, if we all work together, I mean, if I can get, and I say this personally, if I can get the state to work together with all the universities and all the organizations here, I mean, how much more powerful will that be for the community and the ecosystem we have here? And that's, I think that vision is beginning to come true, and I'm hoping we can make this happen. So excellent.
What
Any other questions?
else?
Feel free to raise your hand or leave in the chat, or we can wrap this up as well. So I'm excited to meet you guys, though. I'm excited to go through your applications. I'm excited to learn more. You can book a meeting with me. I have limited spots available, but if you I'll send it here as well because who knows? I like meeting people. I have time. Um,
Well,
but
I would say
I'll
the best way to reach all of us, especially as we get into the holiday season and application review, is coming to our Startup Cafe events, which happen on Fridays and every other Friday at our office or across the region. Yeah, um, we're about to both get very, very busy.
Yeah. Well, I blocked off my calendar. I've
Okay.
limited certain meetings per day.
Okay.
So,
Nice.
but you can always grab coffee. I'm always good for coffee as well. Early morning and or after lunch type of scenario. But I also work for food. So, if anyone wants to buy me food, I had two founders who have said, that was the best lunch I've ever paid for. The best was it $25 he's ever paid for. And then he launched his app in 2 weeks after him talking to me. So like not I'm just saying I will work for food and beer and coffee. So right, exactly. So right on. Any other question? There you go. Right, that's my coffee this morning. So all right, I love it. Yeah, reach out if you have any questions. You connect on the website, get your application in if you haven't already, and I'm looking forward to chatting and meeting you guys. So
Great.
thanks,
Thanks,
guys.
everybody.